All right, listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you isn't just about football. It's about transformation, culture, and what happens when a franchise that's been lost in the wilderness for decades finally stares down its reflection and decides to change everything, from the inside out, and at the center of it all, right now, in real time, is a 22-year-old quarterback named Caleb Williams, walking into Hollis Hall, not just with expectations, but with a microscope hovering over every move, every word, every gesture, and what the Chicago Bears are doing to him, no, with him, is unlike anything I've seen in a very, very long time. Because this isn't just about learning a playbook or adjusting to NFL speed. This is psychological, this is foundational, and it starts not on the field, not in the weight room, but in a cold, quiet, brutally honest room where coaches hit pause on the film and say, "Caleb, watch yourself. This is what the defense saw. This is what your linemen felt. This is what your receivers read in your body language when things started to break down." And right then and there, the message is delivered loud and clear. Talent brought you here, but presence, leadership, command, the invisible weight of tone and tempo, that's what's going to decide your future in this league. And that's what Ben Johnson, the new architect of this Bears culture, is drilling into Caleb Williams from day one. Because Ben didn't take this job to play it safe or polish another prospect, he came to reshape the soul of this franchise from the quarterback outward. And what he sees in Caleb isn't just arm talent or Mahomes-like escapability. He sees a blank canvas, a malleable star, someone who can be molded into a true field general, but only if he embraces something deeper than footwork or release point. And I need you to understand what that really means, because it's one thing to coach a quarterback. It's another thing entirely to rewire one. And that's exactly what's happening, because when Albert Breer broke the news that Bears coaches were showing Caleb clips of himself looking disengaged, confused, or too slow to get up after a sack, it wasn't criticism. It was a challenge. And not every rookie responds well to that, especially a #1 overall pick who's been the guy his whole life. But here's where it gets interesting. Caleb didn't push back. He didn't shut down. He didn't make excuses. He leaned in, and that right there, that willingness to take uncomfortable feedback, to be told you don't look like a leader right now and say, "Okay, let's fix it," that's rare. And it's exactly what this staff needed to see, because they're not just trying to make him better. They're trying to make him bulletproof. And that's why Case Keenum is here too. Not just to hold a clipboard, not just to whisper in the headset, but to model what elite preparation, toughness, and resilience look like. And if you followed Keenum's career, he's seen it all, from practice squads to playoff runs, and Caleb is soaking it up like a sponge, staying after meetings, digging into film with Keenum, asking the right questions, and more importantly, changing the way he operates day to day. And this is where I want you to lean in, because what we're seeing right now isn't just a rookie developing. It's a young man evolving into the kind of quarterback Chicago hasn't had, ever. And I don't say that lightly because I know the names. Jay Cutler, Mitch Trubisky, Justin Fields. I know the flashes, the failures, the false starts. But this is different, because this staff isn't waiting to see if Caleb can lead. They're teaching him how to lead, how to carry the weight, how to project command even when things are crumbling. And they're doing it by being brutally honest, holding him to a standard that's not about stats, it's about signal. And that's why the body language matters so much, because a quarterback's energy is contagious. And when your guys see you dragging, they start to question. But when they see you pop up fast, stay locked in, own the huddle, even after a mistake. That's when belief starts to form. That's when trust is built. And right now, even in OTAs, even before the pads come on, we're seeing that shift in Caleb. And it's not just the coaches saying it. The players feel it. You can hear it in the interviews. You can see it in the practice footage, in how the receivers rally to him, how the vets nod when he speaks. And this is only the beginning, because Ben Johnson hasn't even opened the full playbook yet. He's still in phase 1, which is identity. And that's the genius of this rebuild. They're not just teaching a scheme, they're cultivating a mindset. And the quarterback is the anchor, the tone setter, and everything else will rise or fall based on how he handles the weight. And let me tell you something, that weight is heavy, because this is Chicago, a city that's been burned over and over again by quarterback dreams that turn to dust. And now, the spotlight is back, the hope is back. The fans are watching with one eye open, wondering, is this finally it? And so far, all signs point to yes. Not because Caleb's perfect, but because he's improving in the exact areas that matter most for sustainability, for leadership, for wins in December. And that's why this staff is leaning so hard into the psychological side of quarterbacking, because they know, they've seen, it's not just about arm strength or mobility, it's about response, it's about recovery, and they're not leaving that to chance. They're attacking it head on, and when you combine that with the infrastructure they're building, Keenum's mentorship, a deep receiver room, a sturdy offensive line, a defense that can actually get the ball back, you start to realize just how serious this front office is about ending the cycle. And it all starts with that moment in the film room when they told Caleb, this right here, this isn't good enough. And he didn't flinch. He absorbed it, processed it, and came back sharper. And I want you to remember that moment because one day, maybe years from now, when Caleb's leading this team to the playoffs, when Bears fans are wearing his jersey with pride, people will ask, when did it change? And the answer will be right here in these OTAs, when the franchise stopped hoping for greatness and started demanding it from the top down. Because that's how you build something real. Not with hype, but with honesty, not with promises, but with process. And Caleb Williams is embracing all of it. Every uncomfortable truth, every hard lesson, every leadership rep. And if he keeps rising the way he's rising, the league is going to find out quick. Chicago finally has its quarterback, and they didn't stumble into it. They built him. But here's where it really gets wild. They haven't even opened the playbook yet. Not fully. Ben Johnson is still holding back, still focusing on identity before scheme, because he knows that X's and O's won't save you if your foundation is cracked. So instead of overloading Caleb with concepts, he's drilling mindset. He's teaching him to be the tone setter. And it's working. Because when the receivers start finishing routes harder, when the offensive linemen start barking out protections with more urgency, when the vets start nodding when Caleb talks, that's not about play design. That's about culture. That's about leadership becoming infectious. And that, my friend, is what separates contenders from pretenders. That's what takes a team from 5-12 to playoff caliber. And don't get it twisted, the Bears aren't chasing potential anymore. They're demanding accountability. From the GM's office to the last man on the depth chart, this franchise is moving with a new level of seriousness, and it all starts with how they're building their quarterback. Not hyping him, building him, with friction, with discipline, with honest feedback and deliberate reps. And when Caleb stepped into that first brutal film session and didn't make a single excuse, that was the inflection point. That was the moment every coach in that room said, okay, maybe we can win with this guy. And years from now, when the narrative has shifted, when the Bears are back in the national spotlight for all the right reasons, when Caleb Williams is leading clutch drives in January and breaking franchise passing records, people will look back and ask, when did it all start to change? And the answer will not be the draft. It won't be his first start. It'll be right here, in the silence of those OTA film rooms, where a rookie quarterback was told the brutal truth. And instead of running from it, he owned it. He transformed because of it. And that's not a fairy tale. That's a rebuild done right. With process, with patience, with purpose. And if he keeps growing like this, the rest of the league won't have a clue what's coming. Because for the first time in a long, long time, the Chicago Bears are building a quarterback the right way, from the soul out.